Hi, and welcome to the Habicast, Habitat Pinellas and West Pasco's new show highlighting our mission, our work in the community, and the partners that help make it happen. I'm your co-host, Morgan, and I'm here with our president and CEO, Mike Sutton. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, Morgan? How are you today?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm ready for Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week.
I know, let's do it. Give back day in a few days. I'm excited.
Hey, there you go. Hey, take the weekend off, would you?
You're so kind. So we are switching it up this week for episode 3. Normally we have a guest come on and do a kind of a Zoom setup like this, but we are actually going to be on site. We went on site to Pete and Shorty's.
Yeah. So really exciting. We had the opportunity to sit down with Ed and Marsha Droste. Ed's one of the original founders of Hooters. He's also responsible for a number of other brands like Splitsville and Adobe Gillas, and he also owns a company, Provident Management Corporation, which manages and oversees a number of hotels in our area and throughout Florida. And Ed and Marsha are really known for their philanthropic work around the Tampa Bay region. Ed serves on the board at Moffitt Cancer Center. He's their president of the foundation board, and Marsha's engaged in a number of different organizations like Morton Plant, Random Acts of Flowers. She's a member of our Hammers and Heels group here at Habitat. And they're just such a great couple. And I think why, one of the main reasons we wanted to chat with them was just to kind of get a couple's perspective on how they decide who they're going to support and how they engage in the community. So really excited for folks to hear from them.
Yeah, it was awesome. And being on site at Pete and Shorty's is great. They have great food. So if you've never been, go get a Shorty burger. They're amazing.
They got those new, I'm not a big cheese fan, but they have those new cheese curds.
So good.
Yeah, and they're addictive. I would almost say they're addictive.
Dangerous, so. But they're good. Awesome. Well, before we roll into that segment, we want to make sure that you guys get social with us. So as the Habicast is growing, this premieres on Facebook as well as YouTube. But we also have our Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you're not already getting social with us, please do. Especially as we head into this holiday season, Mike and I are going to talk a little bit about dedications that we have coming up. So we have 11 home dedications before the end of the year, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, if you look at last week, we knocked out 4 of those, and there's no better experience in my mind than those 10 minutes of a home dedication where a family receives the keys to their brand new home that they worked so hard for, right? So they put in hundreds of sweat equity hours. They go through 20 home buyer education classes. They help build their own home, and now they're getting a zero interest mortgage through Habitat, and which will keep the home affordable. So we have another one this week leading into Thanksgiving, and then we have a number of them in the month of December. So people can watch those on our Facebook page. They can watch it on our YouTube page, or if they really want to, they can come out and experience it in person. They just got to wear a mask. So
yep, pretty awesome. So yeah, like Mike said, if you can't make it out, and in these crazy pandemic times, tune in on Facebook. You don't have to have a Facebook account to log in. You can go to our website, find the link, and spend 10 minutes. That will change your entire day. It's pretty awesome.
Exactly. Great start to the day, right?
Awesome. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we'll roll into our fun interview with Ed and Marsha. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks, Morgan. So, Ed and Marsha, thank you all so much for joining us today and talking a little bit about your life and how you guys give back to the community. You all are amazing leaders in our community from a philanthropic standpoint. We know a lot of that started with Hooters, which is one of the concepts that, Ed, you're responsible for. So talk a little bit about how Hooters started getting more involved from a community outreach standpoint.
Yeah, actually, Mike, right from the very beginning, that little joint right over there, 1983, we kind of combined what we have experienced up north, a Midwestern neighborhood community atmosphere, with the beach atmosphere that we had, that we come to love down in Florida. So we thought we'd build those into the same little joint, sell chicken wings, and have fun young ladies providing the energy and the atmosphere. And one of the things about being a community element is you got to be involved in the community. So out of the blocks, our first event we had was for the benefit of the MS Society, and it grew from there. And probably there wasn't a charity we didn't do, Education Foundation, and that's now transferred over to here. Pete and Shorty's is to a smaller degree, but just equally as involved. And Marsha has jumped in. She had that experience in Hooters, in some other stores, and she brought all that to the table.
So Hooters obviously has been involved with Habitat, so we've built 4 homes now together, right? What's that experience been like for all the employees, the folks up at the corporate office, to just get out and swing a hammer?
I was lucky enough to join the volunteers in one of the home builds, and it's a lot of work. But what I was so impressed with is everyone shows up ready to help out, and I thought it was a really good sort of a group bonding thing. We had managers with back of the house guys, with girls that work on the floor, and they just felt like they were really a part of something bigger than just a restaurant chain. Sure. So we were not only thankful, for you guys for providing us that opportunity, but we were also happy to see that I believe the family is the Hoots family. Hootens, ironically enough. So we've sort of adopted that family. They come in all the time to see us now. So it's just been a really cool thing for staff.
Ed and I were talking about that earlier, about how they're over at Hooters probably twice a week. And the little boy, Bryce, has grown up over there. He walks in like he owns the place. I mean,
he pretty much does when he gets, adored by all the ladies and everything. And Marsha does a lot more hammering on his houses than I do. Well, Bob and I show up for the key ceremonies because there's free food
and photo op.
But those are amazing things. If people haven't been, I mean, it's tearful. I haven't been to one where there's not just tears when you hear the story. And then you see just what this means to this family. It's put a lot of time and hours into from their end of it. It's the greatest thing to give them a piece of this.
So I recently shared with you all that we have a new candidate in our program who is an employee of Hooters. So what's that like? Like when you hear that, that you have this employee within the brand that's going to benefit from a home ownership opportunity through Habitat?
Well, our employees, over the 30-some years we've done, we have over 350,000 young women. So there's great stories all around. But when you see one, by her bootstraps and with a child that she's supported so much, that's taken a lot. It's just pride in people like Marsha and our teams are doing the work, but just seeing them get a leg up, because we try to encourage that. A lot of our employees are very entrepreneurial, hardworking. It's just slinging wings and pitchers of beer and crowded.
Long hours.
I always love to hear some of the stories of the successful people that have gone on from Hooters, right? Like John Gruden started in the kitchen on Hillsborough Avenue, right?
He said
now he's coaching.
I'm not sure it had much to do with his success as a football coach, but he has experience.
He says, well, I wasn't a cook over there. He says, I shook a lot of wings, I shucked a lot of oysters, and I walked a lot of girls to their cars.
But to your point, though, about the young lady, I was thrilled to hear that news, because it shows how our support within the community comes full circle back to help the people that were volunteering themselves to help another family. So what a rewarding thing for us to be a part of. And hopefully we'll continue for years.
So let's talk a little bit about you all as a couple, right? So, and Habitat's so, just thankful for not only what Hooters does for us, but you guys as a couple. How do you all determine what organizations you're going to get involved with and supporting? Because I've been around you all, and I know, everybody comes asking, right? There's thousands of amazing charities in the Tampa Bay area and all over the place, right? But how do you determine who you're going to support?
Well, I mean, we all have limitations. If we had the capacity to give, it would be extremely hard to choose who not to give to. You know what I mean? And when we see organizations that are well run, as your Habitat is, and does good for people that offers a hand up to people that need it, we want to jump in. Also, we're passionate about Moffitt Cancer Center and cancer research, because we've had experience with friends and loved ones that have lost their lives in the battle with cancer. So we want to be involved with everything. It's just a matter of time and resources. But we do enjoy working with friends, people such as yourself, Mike, that really run a great organization, and most of the dollars go to where they're supposed to go. So that's also encouraging. I don't know your thoughts.
Well, and a lot of it in the beginning, I was on as many boards as you are, chamber and everything, because we just felt it was important to be involved. But then to do a good job, you had to start narrowing it down. But then that slack has been picked up by pretty much every executive, every manager is on something. Whether it's I think there is a charity we are somehow involved in, whether it's golf tournaments, events, or places, but what caused me to narrow in was what our employees were experiencing, the things we could do that could help them immediately,
Sure.
and then our customers. And we just started seeing people dying of cancer.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody who have a loved one that's impacted by cancer has to spend time at a hospital in that way. You don't realize how fortunate we are to have that type of facility and that world-renowned research right in our backyard. So we're fortunate.
Well, an interesting thing, Marsha co-founded Pinellas Park. There was a sense in the early days that it was like a walk-in clinic, to people over here in Pinellas. And now it's grown to over 7,000 employees on the main campus, and the number 3 in the country in care. And so it's a real force, and to have it immediately available, especially when you've got a complicated form or a 3 or 4 stage. You don't want to be flying around the country. And we're blessed.
When I was at USF, there was obviously just the main building. That main building that is kind of the picture on everything, and now it's a massive campus that's spread out all over USF.
Well, and unfortunately, the reason for that is because of the great need, and then there's more and more people getting melanoma, especially in the state of Florida, and then so the growth is because of the exponential amount of people that are coming in from all over the world to get treated at this 3rd largest in the country institution. So we're happy, very lucky to have it, and happy to support it. But also in the healthcare realm, our local hospital, Warren Plant, Meese, and all of that. I'm
there too.
on the Women in Philanthropy committee there, and I've been a member for 10 years now. And so it's very rewarding, because in this day and age of COVID, right?
Sure.
We're always watching how's Warren Plant doing, and they're on the front line of this virus, and we worry for them, but they're ready, and we're glad that they were supportive and helped them get there.
Flowers, random act of flowers.
We do a lot of work with them at Habitat. So all the vases that come into our restores, we donate to them. And we used to, for a long time, we would actually present flowers at the dedication that they would put together for them. And I think it's also one of those things as our family members get older or are in homes and that kind of thing, and no one's visiting them. And they do such great work just dropping in and putting a smile on somebody's face.
The only thing that some of these elderly homes have received are flowers from Random Act of Flowers in this past year. So this has been their busiest year ever, and unfortunately getting donations during this time has been the most difficult, as you know, because people are tightening their belts a little bit, but I'm really proud to be a part of that board. So
Well, you guys do so much, so thank you on behalf of so many organizations in our community.
Thank you for what you do.
You guys do a great job giving back. So as we wrap up, everyone we've been talking to on our little world-renowned, award-winning podcast, right? We've asked, what does home mean to you? So especially in a time like now, where we're staying home much more because of COVID and that kind of thing. How do you sum up what home means to you all as a couple?
Well, I mean, it's just we appreciate our home more. Staying home was much easier for us because we have our son Pete, who's
it's his home.
our little fur baby Pete,
Sure.
and but we lost our Shorty this year for different things. But we're just where he is, and Netflix. That's where we're home.
I used to think when I bought my first piece of property, mortgaged everything, it was just an empty lot, and I put that flag in there and I said, there is a piece, as small as it is, in this world that is mine.
That's yours.
And I'm saying, and then it became a little bit more where, in fact, that first time I had took a hand with my buddies and maybe a beer or two too much, but I took a big handful of dirt and put it in a jar and took it back to my apartment because that was my dirt, right? But now, in these times, I think for a lot of people, it's their safe haven.
Yeah.
It's hey, you can't take this away from me. I can take care of it. I can go there and be safe, and I think it's become even more important. And look at what you're giving people now that are surely fighting battles in their jobs and all of that with COVID, and now you're giving them, and it's something to focus on all the other crap that's going on.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
So one last question. What'd you do with the dirt? Do you still have it?
I love to say it. Well, probably. I got so much junk around.
We have 3 storage units, so I'm sure I can find that dirt somewhere.
So now I'm going to go look.
He's very sentimental, but you're absolutely right. You said that pride, so you're giving that to all these families.
Sure,
so thank you for that.
Well, thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
And thanks for having us here at the famous Pete and Shorty's in Clearwater.
Very good. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
So being on site at Pete and Shorty's is pretty cool. I do like that Habicast on the road. What do you think about that?
Yeah, hey, look, we're switching it up, right? So this award-winning podcast, has to have many different layers to it. So, but no, that was an awesome experience to sit down with Ed and Marsha and just talk a little bit about their thoughts behind giving. I love how Ed summarized what home means to them, just kind of being that safe haven. And we know that right now in these times during this pandemic that just having 4 walls, a healthy place to live and lay your head at night is so important. And we're just, if you think about it, Morgan, we're blessed to have the opportunity to work for an organization like Habitat that, is providing that opportunity to so many families. So,
right.
But,
especially like we said at the beginning, right before the holidays. So 11 families will be receiving their keys after completing the Habitat program, and they'll have a home for the holidays for the first time for many of them, which is
for sure.
amazing.
Yep.
So before we wrap up, just a reminder, again, in these crazy pandemic times, you can still get involved with Habitat. So whether that's donating to the Restore, we're doing contactless pickups, or tuning into a dedication via Facebook, or checking out a couple of the ones that have already happened on YouTube. There are so many ways to get involved, digitally, virtually. So we really invite you to check out our website at habitatpwp.org to get plugged in.
Awesome. So Morgan, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
It's going to be low key, but an apple pie is being made, so it's going to be great.
Well, there you go. That's all you need.
What about you?
The turkey and all the sides, right?
Forget that.
So I offered to cook this year, right?
Oh no.
Very, very low key, just with my mother and sister, and I offered to cook, but that didn't go over too well. So my mom does an amazing job with Thanksgiving every year. So, I guess
it was the thought that counted.
Exactly. That's what I said, right?
Maybe just pick something up and bring it. It's fine.
I could do that. So, well, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. And, next time we see everyone, it'll be after the holiday. But we hope everyone stays safe and has a very joyous Thanksgiving. Just be safe around your loved ones and just enjoy the holidays. So thanks for joining us today, and have a great week.
Yeah, thank you.